Welcome to the Dumbfounded Dipshits podcast. I am Mike. That is Ryan. We are your dipshits of the evening.
What's up,
What are we doing?
dipshits? Yeah, chilling, chilling. If you're tuning in live, don't mind me. My voice is hoarse. If you're tuning in later, then fuck you. You're gonna get a hoarse voice
Because
the whole episode.
your voice is hoarse. I thought you said when we were behind the scenes talking. I thought you said your voice is whore. And I'm like, your
I
voice is a
I said
whore.
I said I was a little whore. I'm a little whore. Little whore. Nah.
Just
Yeah.
a just a
I've been
whore.
screaming all weekend. So baseball season's back. So
What
I was at a couple of
what's
games.
what's it to scream at in baseball?
Home runs.
I guess, but it's so slow paced. And
Home runs and strikeouts.
how's this new pitch clock
It's
doing?
a lot faster. Like
See,
yeah.
I might actually go to a baseball game now just because they're forcing these assholes to move it along.
A lot of people don't like it. I love it. I mean, I okay. It's a little
So there's
weird.
6 people
I
in
like
this room right now.
spending
Please hit the like and subscribe, thumbs up, and all that hoobity doobity.
mash those
We are
buttons.
currently live streaming to like 7 different places. I gave up on live streaming to Twitter because we weren't really getting any views on Twitter. So it's all the
Facebook, I
Facebook
think.
pages. It's
Yeah,
all the Facebook pages I have. I have like seven of
yeah,
them. But anyway, so
yeah. I mean,
you're
like it's
you're a
faster.
Mets fan, right?
Yes,
That's a stupid
obviously.
question. Look at the fucking yeah. Like, oh, look, you're a Mets fan, right? No, I'm actually a Dodgers fan. Oh,
I feel like being a Mets fan is popular amongst podcasters. It's like half the Barstool guys are Mets fans, and
well, because they
you know
were
what I mean.
half of them in New York.
Well, so yeah, I mean, like I don't know how much of a New Yorker that Frank the Tank guy is. I don't know if he's from New York. I think he's from
Wait,
Jersey.
is his real
But
name
yeah,
really Frank the Tank?
no, I know it's Frank, but they call him Frank the
Isn't
Tank.
Frank the Tank from Old School?
That's the nickname
We're
of
going streaking.
Will Ferrell's character in Old School. That was his old nickname in college when he was a wild boy. But I think Frank the Tank might not be a
Oh,
wild
I
boy.
found something. I was cleaning my desk, and now it's filthy. But I just cleaned my desk, and I found something from back in the day, and made me very sad, very very sad. It's
Oh,
my
mouth
mouthpiece.
guard. Oh. How does it smell?
Why would I'm putting it back in the bag and not. No.
After it being trapped in the bag for as long as it's been trapped in the
Well, I used
bag
to
for.
soak it in Listerine, so it probably doesn't even smell bad.
I know, but sometimes I don't know. Like mouth guards, sometimes they don't really clean up too well. Like you could brush them and they'll still be skunky. Like even if you brush them with toothpaste.
So, so they're prosecuting Trump apparently, or
I mean, listen. Like he said that was going to happen a couple of weeks back, and everybody was like waiting on the edge of their seats to see if it was going to happen. And now they actually indicted him through a grand jury.
but
They had
but
a grand jury.
what's what like what
Because he
why
lied,
what
because he lied about fucking a porn star. I don't know, dude. I really like. I haven't been paying attention, even though
like
I know this has been a controversy for like a couple of years now. Like this is something that's been brewing for now 4 years, right? Like that they wanted to bring charges on him over the Stormy Daniels like hush money thing, right?
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it's something that was always around, but I didn't really know enough about it. I thought, like, did he do a reverse Bill Clinton and say he banged a porn star, but didn't? That's what I thought happened at the beginning.
Yeah, I don't.
Or did he pay her off to keep her mouth shut because she did blow him once or something? I don't know. But I just think, like, I don't know. It's a little crazy that they're gonna try to bring up criminal charges on him because he paid somebody to keep their mouth shut.
That's what I don't understand. Like, I don't like Trump, and I'm not a Trump supporter or whatever they call those lunatics. But I don't understand. Like, he paid a porn star. Isn't that what you do to porn stars? You pay
They get
them.
paid. From my
Like,
understanding, they get paid.
it's almost as if like, oh, he got an escort, he paid her. Oh, okay. He paid her so she didn't tell people. Oh, okay. But he lied about it. Oh, okay. He lied about it under oath. And Bill Clinton got his dick sucked and lied about it under oath.
Yes,
And
and nothing happened.
yeah,
Not like I'm saying one isn't worse than the other, or one like not even that. It just seems like
it
a far
also
reach to get something on him. Like it's
yes,
just.
yes,
I mean, is it
and
just me, or does it seem like it's a little bit?
like we want to forget he ever existed. Some of us, not that we don't want to forget, but like we don't want him to be a not.
Right.
if you don't want the man reelected, stop talking about him.
It's
Stop giving
almost
him headlines.
it's almost as if they're trying to pull him back into this after talking a whole bunch of shit about how they just want him to go away, and then he would go away. People would forget if you did. This is who said this? Somebody said, Chris Rock, right? I think I'm quoting Chris Rock, and he said, by sending him to jail, you're just going to make him more popular.
Yes.
When Tupac went to jail, he sold millions of records after he got out. So what's the? I mean, really, I don't even know. Like, I'm pleading ignorance. What is like the maximum? If he could even see jail time, like, what is like the max they could give a former sitting president?
I don't.
What up, Hiddleston?
I don't. Like, I was looking it up to see what they were even like the maximum charges for this or whatever.
Is it bribery? Is that the charge? What did the grand jury say he was guilty of?
What is the indictment for? The Trump faces more than 30 counts related to business fraud in the indictment. Okay, business fraud. CNN has well, CNN. It remains under seal. The former president is expected to be arraigned.
Well, I mean, all the news outlets are pretty much agreeing 100% on like what he's being charged for. Not the relevancy, but like everybody's pretty much saying just that. I think the way you just said, like that, it was like something that he took money from something to pay her off. Was it like campaign funds or something like that? But they didn't say, right?
Yeah, I don't.
I know you're not allowed. I know you're not allowed to like inappropriately spend campaign funds on anything. You know what I mean? Like they all have to be. There's got to be some sort of like checks and balances with what you spend the money on. And you get a lot of people who, while they're like campaigning, will spend money on like frivolous things like private jets and stuff and try to say it was as a gift to get somebody's endorsement or something like, which sounds like just fancy bribery to me anyway. But there's a lot of stuff that I guess they're trying to crack down on that everybody does. Apparently, all of it doesn't matter. Democrat, Republican.
We're gonna try to crack down on it now that Trump has done it, but for years we got away with it. But because someone we don't like has been doing it, now we're gonna start cracking down on it. And yeah, so the next election, I wonder who's gonna be running, because I don't think Biden's gonna run again, and I don't think if he runs again, he's gonna win, because it's not.
No, but the Republicans are all pretty much, they're all sort of like coalescing now, right? Well, Isn't that like what's happening? Isn't there like
I don't want what's his face from Florida. I don't want him.
Well, I'm just saying, who's in the grouping right now? Isn't there like what's her name? Governor, I think, or senator from some state. There's some lady who's threw her hat in the race. DeSantis is not officially said he's running for president, but
I hope he doesn't.
But everybody's like all of the non-Trumper Republicans are pushing for DeSantis, and there's a whole bunch of other people who are talking like they're right froggy and trying to make a move. But I think they're all waiting to see what happens with this Trump indictment first before people really start throwing their hats in the, in the ring. But I mean, listen, I don't know, if, to be quite honest with you, I feel like this may be just a whole heap of bullshit just to sort of, and I think not like to be corny or anything, but he might be Teflon Don in this situation and not have to really see any jail time. I don't see that.
I don't think he's going to see jail time. He has so much money.
I don't think he's going to see jail time.
Elite, technically.
Is he going to have to? Is he going to have to pay a penalty or something that he can easily get the funds to? More than likely, that's probably what's going to happen. There's also a chance that he could just come out of this unscathed.
Did we ever Did they ever release his tax returns or whatever nonsense they were going after?
You know what I hate about the news and about politics is that they'll bitch about something and then it'll just no one will talk about it and it'll disappear.
Well, it'll lead to nothing and then they'll stop talking about it.
And then they'll stop talking about it. And then it
led to nothing when they were like, oh, he's colluding with Russia and Russia's colluding with him and this and that.
And it was all fabricated.
Well,
that was
when
all
it came out,
bullshit.
It wasn't bullshit. It was true. The problem it wasn't true in a sense where they were colluding with Trump.
Right.
They were colluding with both sides, and not directly with them. They were causing misinformation for both sides, and
Yeah.
making the whole election a fucking shitstorm. So it wasn't a lie. It was just that the way the Democrats portrayed it was a lie. It wasn't one sided. It was both sides.
Sort of like an act of political
Yeah,
destabilization.
exactly.
Yeah.
And once it came out that it wasn't true, that they were colluding with only Trump, and it wasn't a direct collusion. It was this whole bigger thing. It disappeared. The story disappeared.
Yeah, and then
CNN refused to take back
swept
what they
under the
said,
rug. Right. Yeah,
or
and they're not going to apologize. Yeah, like,
apologize. I remember Rachel Maddow cried on the air when she found out.
I heard. I never watched that video, but yeah, I heard that she was emotional about, But I mean, I heard that there was like when they announced the indictment in Fox Studios, the anchor that was announcing, you heard gasps in the background. But that could also be like some troll on the internet just adding that shit in. Because what I've noticed, and just to bring it back to the baseball game thing, depending on the station that you're on and the narrative, right? For
Yeah.
example, and I'm just going to use this as an example. I was at Lone Depot Park 3 days in a row. In Miami, when the Mets play the Marlins, there are Marlins fans there, but they are severely outnumbered by Mets fans. And all you heard in the stands, the whole win or lose, they lost on Friday, but they won on Thursday and Saturday and today, was "Let's go Mets." And that's why I'm hoarse, because I was one of the screaming, chanting people. And it is deafening. You hear it all throughout the stadium. When I was at home today, I went to 3 games in a row. Today, 4th game, I watched it at home. You hear the "Let's Go Mets," and then you hear them drown it out with other ambient noise in the crowd, so that you don't hear the "Let's Go Met" chant on the Marlins station. Now, that being said, you when you watch a lot of this shit, that's why I was like, when I heard like, oh, the gasps in the background after really Trump was just indicted on whatever business fraud charges or blah blah blah,
Yeah.
and then you hear on the video, you hear like a collective like gasp. I'm like, somebody probably just edited it in. So nowadays, even when I hear like these or see
don't
these
know.
like reaction,
Yeah.
you can't. What are you going to trust? You know what I mean? Whoever's like really steering the ship at that station is gonna, So I don't know. I don't believe anything anymore. Like, I think everything's full of shit. I think this, Trump. And the thing is, like, all right, I understand the witch hunt thing, but it's been my whole life. All I remember from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s to now is the Democrats and Republicans doing this to each other.
Forever.
Over and over, forever and ever and ever.
Forever.
There's been honeypots, or what do they call them? Honeypot. What when you sneak like a hot woman in as a spy and they have sex with somebody to get information or whatever, or to stir up shit?
I don't remember what it's actually
It's called a honeypot, right?
I guess.
It's called something. Honey
Yo no
something.
say.
Honeypot.
Yo no
Anyway.
say.
So it's a typical tactic in like espionage and shit, where they're like have like a hot spy go and sleep with a general or a foreign dignitary or something to get information. And I feel like, people have just been planted over and over again to stir up controversy for politicians. And this seems like a pretty widely used tactic by both sides. And it's just, look at it this way: Stormy Daniels and Trump now, and it was Monica Lewinsky and the other women, Paula Jones and all those other women before her. You know what I mean? That kept getting pulled up because the conservative media, even back then, were trying to pull up those stories to blow up Clinton's spot. And it just seems like they were also trying this in New York City, which is obviously notoriously liberal as far as like who they go after. And I'm pretty sure if you had a grand jury in fucking Kentucky or in Texas, you know what I mean?
Doesn't every state have a grand jury?
Yeah, and federal grand jury too. Like, there's on different levels. There's local, state, and then federal. So you could have like a municipality have a grand jury, like New York City can have their City of New York grand jury, and there could be a state grand jury if you're being tried on a state case.
Just to keep in mind, everyone, we're complete dipshits. So if we're wrong about something, it's because we're Wrong. It happens.
I mean, I'm not a lawyer or anything like that, but I think I'm pretty familiar with like the tiers and hierarchy of
But
like.
okay. Full disclosure, we have no fucking clue what we're talking
No,
about. But
I have the
definitely,
credentials.
definitely. But understand, we also do know exactly what we're talking about. But we
I
are
think I
fucking
think
clueless.
I think I know what I'm talking about, but I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yes, so that's why you have to like just enjoy the show and just take everything in as if it's a fact, but understand it's completely not a fact unless you want it to be a fact. That's kind of how this works.
You can believe what you want to believe. People are going to believe what they want to believe anyway. I
Oh
mean,
god,
isn't
don't
that the
get me
moral of the
started.
story?
These fucking paranormal groups are make me go, make me go lose my mind. Cause
I
like,
read last week, right? I think you mentioned them. Tell me about it. Like what? Okay, what
just like,
happens in
no, no,
these?
it's like, uh, if a photographer can look at your photo and go, it's this, you can't say. I mean, you can say, but you look really stupid when you say, "Oh, I believe it's something else." No. Hi, I'm a photographer. This is that. The sky is blue. No, it's red. No. The sky is blue. I believe it's red. You can believe what you want,
Yeah,
but
there's a
you're a
nice
fucking
video.
idiot.
Yeah, there's a nice video of this Rastaman, right? I think in London, and he stopped somebody in the street. And he said this one thing. I think there's so many different cut ups of this one video, but he says to this guy, it's the wisest thing ever. He's like, you only believe what you don't know.
Exactly.
You only,
Exactly.
because if you know, and that's where that ends, because you know as a fact.
Yes.
But if you don't know for a fact, then you are compelled to either
Like
believe or not believe it.
this person was like, "No, but I believe this is a spirit of so and so or something," and I'm like,
I'm
"No,
sure you believe it, but
it's
is
this."
is that it? Yeah.
And then it came down to I said to her, "How much training do you have in photography?" "Oh, none. I just used my camera phone." Then shut the fuck up.
Yeah, there's so many different
Because it
variables
got
that
to the
go
point
into.
where I'm like showing them 25 different articles that's literally explaining to them based on, like, one was from Sony. The manufacturer of the camera you're using is telling you it's this, but I believe it's that. It doesn't matter what you believe at this point. It's like, oh, the doctor has, oh, look, based on this x-ray, you have cancer. I don't believe that. I believe I'm fine. I'm healthy. I'm going home because I believe I'm fine. You're dead in a couple of months, idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, listen,
Hey, Beth, how you doing? It's been a couple weeks.
yeah, fucking, yeah. We had to take Wednesday off because I was picking a friend up from the
No,
airport.
I was
And
referring
this day
to
was like,
Beth with the Boston Bat. Wow,
oh,
Boston
oh
Beth.
yeah, Bruins, huh? Yeah,
From
yeah.
now on, your nickname on this show is Boston Beth.
Boston, the Bruins, Beth. Bruins, Beth. What? There was a game on today, was there not, Beth? I believe there was a Boston Bruins game on today on television.
I used
I
to be
was
a
watching.
Bruins fan, and that's not because I actually like the hockey team itself. I like being them in the NHL, whatever game on Xbox,
2K or
whatever
whatever.
it was.
My uncle's a Bruins fan. He loves the Bruins.
I used to
He's
like
not from
hockey a
Boston
lot.
though.
I used to like hockey a lot. I mean, a
It's
lot.
an
I
exciting
played it.
sport.
I played not professional, like street hockey, but
I used to play street hockey as a kid too on my rollerblades. I love the game. I just can never like the thing is what I feel my relationship with hockey has just been near misses. Like I've just almost had so many connections during my life that I could have probably went down that path to fandom. And I'm at one right now. Yeah, there you go, Beth. Let's go Bruins. I live in a market that now is starting to boom with hockey fans, and hockey's pretty big in South Florida because they have
there's
two
no
pretty
fucking
decent
ice
hockey
there.
teams.
No,
There isn't,
I'm kidding.
but
I'm kidding.
yeah, I know, and it's a surprise. I'm like, for the hottest state in the whole country, they have two really good hockey teams, like decent. Like the in Sunrise, you get the Panthers who play right by me, and a lot of people go to these games. These games sell out. More people go to the hockey games, and I'm sure it's to cool off than they go to the baseball games, and that's a fact. Because it is good if you're
Hottest
going there.
balls in fucking South Florida.
If it's not like the Mets, the Cubs, or like the St. Louis like Cardinals playing the Marlins, then hardly anybody will show up. And it's sad. It sucks because it's a beautiful ballpark. Lone Depot Park is awesome, and they have a retractable roof. They pulled it back. It was beautiful on Friday, and and the place is it's a nice building.
By the
It's
way,
in a pretty residential neighborhood though.
did
so
you
it's
see
hardly-
Corey Sanhagen and Chito.
Oh, Cheeto Vera. Yes, I did. Good for Sanhagen, man. That
Yeah,
was that.
it was a
Yeah,
good win.
it was
He
a good
played.
win.
Listen, he's good. He made Chito Vera look pretty bad. He didn't get. It was a
Yeah.
pretty even match. It wasn't an even match fight. It was a good fight.
Cheeto
could
Vera two
not.
fights ago. Cheeto Vera 2 fights ago against now Corey Sanhagen was an even fight. It was an even fight now because okay, Sanhagen just put another exclamation point on top of the downward like sort of trajectory that Cheeto Vera is going to have for the next couple of fights.
You think
I
so?
feel like he doesn't come back. He fights one more time. If they give him a tomato can, he wins. If they give him like a real contender, I even say he may not have too good of a shot. I feel like Sanhagen, on the other hand, is on he's on that incline.
Well, because Sanhagen he has really good footwork, and like as long as he sticks to his movement and doesn't get stuck in these slugfest, he's gonna do
Yeah.
a lot better. And if he stays with that footwork and keeps the way he's going, he could be a champion.
I think he could be champion in that division easily. And after beating Cheeto Vera is just, and I'm not taking away from Corey Sanhagen saying that it was an easy win. It wasn't, because Cheeto Vera he's not an easy opponent, and he's still who he is. And I just feel like
He has
there's
knocked
a
up
little bit of mark. Yeah, he did. Yeah, totally. He could have either one of them could have finished each other at any time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's because they have that kind of unpredictability with when they land that winning shot, or But I'm more hyped actually just to see what happens this weekend. You know what I mean? And not for because listen, in my opinion, I love Stylebender. I want him to win. I don't think that there's no chance he'll win, but I just feel like it's pretty soon. Even though it's 5 months later, it's pretty soon after the last time he fought him, and I feel like Pereira is still fresh.
And Pereira is his kryptonite. It's almost like Pereira is his kryptonite.
He has something figured out with Israel Adesanya as an individual. If you give him somebody who he's not familiar with, Pereira might have a hard time. You know what I mean? And that's what I think about that.
He's done pretty damn well in the UFC.
Yeah, and this is the thing. It's not like Izzy didn't give him problems. He gave him problems.
He almost finished him in the third round or something, or second round.
Yeah, but the thing is, he knows how to adjust to him specifically, on a personal level. You know what I mean? What I think is going to be a wild fight is going to be the fight right before that. Masvidal and fucking and Edwards and Gilbert. I mean, yes, sorry,
Gilbert Burns.
I still have Leon Edwards on the brain. I was still thinking about him. Man, Gilbert Burns and Masvidal. I think that's going to be a wild fight. I
think so too.
Yeah, on some sloppy shit maybe. There's going to be moments where you're going to be like, they're not thinking about what they're doing.
They're just throwing bombs.
Yeah. But I feel like it could be mostly a ground fight. It's going to be a slugfest the first 2 minutes until not they get gassed, but they start thinking a little clearly, like this isn't getting us anywhere unless we're quick knockout. Which Masvidal likes to go for that. If he could get an opportunity to finish somebody in the first 5 seconds, he will. But
I mean, look what he did to what's his face? The grappler.
Wrestler, what's his name?
Yeah, what the fuck is his name?
Fuck, Paul beat him. Jake Paul, right? What the fuck is his name?
Yes.
I can't believe I forgot his name.
Have a good night, Beth. Thanks for coming by.
Night. I don't know. What the fuck was his name? The wrestler guy. The curly hair. He was playing fucking frisbee golf. He bought his property so he could build frisbee golf.
I look it up. I find the video and I don't see his name. Ben Askren.
Ben Askren. What's wrong with me, dude?
What's wrong with us?
Too many dabs, bro. Too many dabs. This weekend. I gotta take a break from that shit. Y'all motherfuckers are too hardcore.
Yeah, we are. I mean, I slow down a lot, but still just a dab or two, and I'm just like, whoa.
Yeah. But when you're force swallowing 5, 6, 7 in a row,
Oh my God.
you know what I mean?
That was at the Super Bowl party when I Irish exited. I was so, oh my god, I had to do like 50 dabs that night.
Yeah, that was because it was. I think the Puffco was like overheating. Like it was just going for like 2 or 3 hours.
Well, we were
It was
doing
like
the
two.
friggin'. I was using the Puffco and then I was using the rig as well. The rig was going too.
Yeah, sizzling. I love it. Sounds like bacon. But fuck, man. Yeah, like a lot of weird shit happening lately too. I think besides like this Trump getting indicted, like first time a former president getting indicted, that's pretty crazy. But we
Is
also
it the first
fucking
time a
had
former president didn't what Watergate? Didn't he get indicted?
he resigned before that and they dropped the charges.
Wait, really?
If he didn't resign, I don't think if Nixon stayed in office, they would have tried to get him on that breaking and entering. Well, I think okay. I dumbfounded dipshits. I don't know what I'm
Again,
talking about,
once
but I
again,
think I know what I'm. Once again, disclaimer.
we can
I
look it
think
up,
that,
but
I think the
I don't know.
guys who broke in to the Watergate building and took those files were charged with crimes, but
Not the president, the one who
not the
hired them.
president. I don't know. See, that's where it falls apart because was it a hire? Nobody said he said he wanted them to do it. He never said any exchange of money or compensation. He could literally be like calling a bluff in that kind of language, like legalese. You could be like, he could be calling a bluff. Was there some sort of transaction? Was there a promise for something? Was there something in exchange? Did he said, yeah, all right, whatever, go do it. Like, you're not going to do it. Yeah, all right, fine, go do it.
You,
That language
you,
changes everything. But, I mean, aside from strange, just to keep him more strange, and no, we promised not to say his name ever again. But apparently Kanye apologized for,
I
like
when you
ragging on the
said that, I was
Jews.
confused because I saw that the apology was from a very long time ago. I couldn't
How
find
long
something
ago?
recently. Hold on, let's see if I can
There
find
was
it.
something that Ari Shafir posted. And I thought it was a troll, but then I saw it on World Star Hip Hop.
So October 20th, 22, Kanye West apologized for anti-Semitic comments.
What did he say?
That was in 22 though. This is
I don't think this is it. I think he apologized and he dropped names apologizing to certain people directly. I believe, hold on, let me see. I believe it was on World Star Hip Hop that I saw this. The second time. The first time it was Ari Shafir posting it, and he was like, I watched Ari Shafir's special, and now I had learned a lot about Jews, which I thought was a troll because Ari Shafir would do that to like promote his special,
everything I
which he
see is
doesn't.
old now. I searched Kanye West apologizes world star.
Hold on, let me check. Let me see if I can even send you the link because I was dying. Oh, if I can find it, but no. All right, still having difficulty. Oh no, I can't find it now too. Did I just like
Imagine
dream this
this?
up?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did I imagine this? Didn't he? I could have sworn I heard fucking Kanye apologize for going DEFCON on the Jews. I guess I missed that one.
Yeah, I'm looking
Wait,
for it. I still
maybe
can't find it.
not on World Star.
No.
Damn, did I just dream this up? I might have dreamed it up. Oh wait, no,
You found it?
no. That was Donald Trump. My bad. On World Star. World Star reposts Donald Trump tweets. It's funny
Wait, really?
all the time.
Wow.
Did you gotta be? Oh, all right. So there's other news besides that, but I'm trying. I really want to find this Kanye apology because I'm devastated right now.
That,
No, it's not up here. That I like totally made this up.
I mean,
Did I like make it up? I might have made it up. Anyway,
it looks like you did because I'm going through articles of last year. The only thing I see is October of last year.
well, they let Andrew Tate out of jail in Romania under house arrest, so he could
Who?
just have Andrew Tate, kickboxer,
Oh, yeah, yeah. They let him go. I mean,
machismo guy.
listen, there's so much you don't know what to believe anymore because like there's people like, oh, he was falsely accused, and look at the arrest affidavit. It doesn't even say what you guys say he did, and
You can't trust
you
like
can't trust
foreign police
anything.
departments for
The
their
guy,
police
listen,
reports.
I have nothing personally against him. Do I agree with some of the things he says? Yes. Do I disagree with the majority of things he says? Probably. But that's not
Because
the point.
most of the time you're disagreeing with him. He's in like some sort of kayfabe fucking personality thing that he does. But this is the thing. What I like, because I didn't think like I'm like what human trafficking. I was like, oh, it's all bullshit. And then you see like, well, he did like a house had like a house full of women, like him and his brother, right? Didn't
Yes.
he?
Yes.
But he did, and then I see another. I'm like, oh shit, he did have a house full of women. But then it was like, oh wait, they were all like well kept and shit like that, and they were there on their own. Like
Women
he would say like
allegedly
you could leave whenever you want, and I was like, nah, that's bullshit. You
women
can't
allegedly
get.
came out and said, "Hey, we were never held captive. We were hanging out with him and partying with him for days, or some
Yeah,
nonsense,
I
or
was like,
whatever."
how do you get 30 women in bikinis just to, like live in your house like all the time? Like, what kind of money do you have? Because I know he's loaded, right? Doesn't he like drive a Bugatti and fucking like he's like super rich?
So I couldn't find. Let's see,
Is that's not just from
Andrew.
that can't be just from kickboxing. That's just got to be
That's
from social media, right?
so his net worth is a mystery.
Was that the first number? The first figure that came up was a mystery.
So apparently, holy shit, his net worth is what? Hold on. Okay, he claims his net worth is over 700 million. He claims.
Oh well, yeah, but that's also
Now,
like he has a fucking Ric Flair kayfabe
according
fucking
to
character that he was.
documentaries, I was gonna say documents, his actual net worth is 370 million. His annual salary right now is averaging 50 million, and his monthly income is 5 million.
That's still like a lot of money. But
So it's
then,
still a lot of money. He's still balling for sure, for sure.
and I'm sure that's sort of how he got out of having to fucking stay in prison and be under house arrest in Romania. And you know, my question is really,
Well, go
if you've
ahead.
seen him recently, that he's but a stone's throw from Turkey, and he's got all that money. He could have gotten better hair plugs, or just shaved it, because it didn't look too good. Like he grew in, he's got a patchy beard. I even think he tried to get hair plug beard in because he had like naked face. You know, like there's people who just can't grow a beard at all, like not even a
Mm-hmm.
mustache. Like motherfuckers are in their 40s and they got boink boink, and they just can't grow a beard. I think he was like that, and he tried to Mayweather it, like what Floyd Mayweather did. Because right, Mayweather has a fake beard, right? That's all fake.
I heard that could be a rumor though, because he does have the money to make it as neat in real life as it is, you know. But
Yeah, but
it does look a little too, you know.
it looks like he got plugs on his face. But this is the thing: when they take your hair and they give you, like the transplant, they're taking it from another part of your head, right? To put it up front to fill that gap, right? And that's how that whole works. Because that hair is like the
Well,
hair
I
in the
thought they
front.
could take the hair from
The hair.
anywhere.
No, no. Because how long does the hair on your back grow? How long does the hair on your forearms grow? Now I'm getting there, Mike. Now the consistency of the hair on your face might be more or less like body hair. So where did Floyd Mayweather get all of those hair plugs to fill his beard? Like what part of his body did
From
they
his
take that
nuts.
from his back of his balls? Because it looks like he has like short curly ball hair on his
That's
face.
hilarious.
He should have just stayed. I feel like, you know what? I don't know why he tried to grow hair, because he would have stayed looking younger if he just stayed bald and shaved his face like baby
Well, he
face.
always was baby face. He always
That's what
was.
I mean. But he just looks like he does.
Is.
Like there was something I seen him box in Japan, and I was like watching him do like one of those exhibitions, like where it's almost like WWE, which will be the next thing we talk about, right, coming up, where he was like full bearded on and stuff like that, and I was like, he just looks like old man fighting now, and I'm not used to seeing Floyd Mayweather like that, because watching him 20 years ago, he looked the same as he did 5 years ago, and then now he's trying to grow all this facial and head hair in, and I'm like, he doesn't look like the young pretty boy Floyd
I mean,
that we remember.
he's doing his thing.
I think he just needs to shave it all off. Try to grab on, like hold on to whatever youth he has left. Anyway, in WWE news,
So apparently, the parent company who owns the UFC, which was hold on, UFC parent company is called.
Endeavor.
Okay, there you go. UFC parent company is Endeavor, and they are looking at possibly buying also WWE, which would be very interesting if WWE is owned. The UFC and WWE are owned by the same people. It'd be very interesting, because the UFC does get accused of already being WWE and faking shit and whatever, and then if the same company owns both, there's even more of an argument for that.
But they're saying that they're going to be separate entities. Vince
Well,
McMahon
that's
is
how
going to
they're
stay on
always.
as operating CEO, and
I thought he
Dana White
stepped
is
down
still.
because he got in trouble.
Well, in this transaction, he's still in that position. Will he resign in the future? I think his days are sort of like a little. He's speaking about hair plugs. He definitely got some fucking work done too, and he dyed his hair. I think for WrestleMania, he's got like a porn mustache now,
Really?
which is interesting. Yeah, he's like, and he's
I
been
haven't
gray
seen
for a
it.
while. Vince McMahon has been sporting the gray since almost Attitude Era. I feel like Attitude Era he was a little grayish, but now
Yes.
he's like full on just for men.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Hulk Hogan too was like that forever. Charcoal in the beard. The charcoal in the beard.
Yeah. But you know what? Like, I think he'll probably be stepping down pretty soon. You know what I mean? Obviously, he's like way older. He's supposed to done been finished with the WWE for a while, but he comes back. He goes away, comes back. I don't think that it's going to affect either or. What I think is going to make it easier for is for talent from the UFC to make it over to WWE, and I feel like that'll be more of like a talent pool
What if it happens the
for the
other way? We
WWE
get more. We get more. What's his name?
promotion.
What's his name?
Hmm.
CM Punk motherfuckers coming over to try to be in the
But
UFC.
listen, you had that guy Jake Hager, who fought in Bellator, who was a wrestler in the WWE and in AEW. I think he still is in AEW, and he fought. And he had a couple of like decent, all right fights. He actually looked like he was actually a collegiate wrestler, I believe. So he had actual skills. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
But it could be you could get guys like that, but or what you don't want to happen is to have like a CM Punk situation where the guy doesn't know what the fuck he's
oh,
doing.
that was so bad. That was
Just
so
imagine
bad.
this back
Didn't
in the
Mickey?
day.
Didn't Mickey Gall get cut?
Recently. But he's got like a popular podcast. Mickey Gall's doing good. Mickey Gall, aside from MMA, was doing good. I don't know if he's going to fight again. He might not fight again. He didn't sign with Bellator. I forgot who he is. He has a podcast with somebody. They're pretty funny. Podcast is pretty good. But, I don't think his attention is on fighting right now. Which if you don't have to fight, then don't fight. But I feel like moves like that will be could probably happen. Do I think? I think they may be more cautious because like the CM Punk thing was like a cautionary tale on people who think they could get into MMA who have no right to do it. Brock Lesnar going into MMA was, like there are good things between WWE and MMA. There's been a great history. You've had a lot of great fighters who have gone over to WWE and vice versa. You know what I mean? So it could be a successful kind of crossover thing. And do I think they should meld UFC with WrestleMania? No, I believe those two things should be like completely separate. Like
100%.
But hearing about somebody, retirement, the buzz about them moving over into the WWE universe or whatever, like might be, a good thing. And I think with all the controversy that Vince McMahon is having now, them being bought up by a larger entity might be the better solution to the issues. You know what I mean? It might help in the longevity of WWE because even though I don't watch, I still want it to go on. You know what I mean? I don't watch as much as I used to, but every once in a while I'll tune in. But I'm still a fan of the entertainment of wrestling. I love wrestling, but I'm more of a fan of the old school shit because, it went a different direction. Maybe this will be good for that and I might want to start watching again. You know what I mean? They might have something a little bit more like Attitude Era if they're merging with, with the UFC's parent company
That
to be
was the
edgier.
best ever, was it not?
Oh, the best. It was awesome.
Would
It was the
Hell
best
in a Cell,
entertainment.
Mankind, and Undertaker beat.
Undertaker.
Yeah, that was Attitude Era, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the pit. That was the height of Attitude
Yeah.
Era. That was when it
That's
was.
still that in my opinion that is the best wrestling match. The best.
Well, for me, it's probably, like I only say like memorable, like Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan in
Well, that's
WrestleMania
yeah,
three,
but that's a
because
whole different ball game. That's
I was a
prodigies right there.
6-year-old kid,
Not prodigies. That's like
the legends, so it
yeah,
was like
legends. There you go.
I was a 6-year-old kid, you know what I mean? And it was
Yeah,
like so impressionable, but that Hell in a Cell burned a hole in my brain, in my memory.
dude.
At the age of, I think I was 17, like 10 years later, I was like, oh, you'll never forget that. And
Never forget that.
that's what they always go back to when they do this flashback shit. They go back to
Mm-hmm.
Attitude Era and how awesome it was, because it
Dude,
wasn't. And it was
Mankind and the Undertaker, legit.
just the shit they would get away with. Mark Henry getting Mae Young pregnant. Didn't we watch a powerbomb, an old lady get powerbombed on this?
We watched many.
If we played
Yes,
it,
I believe so.
if we played it, would we get like fucking copyright and fucking blah blah blah? Either way, if whoever's watching, if you just look Mae Young getting power bombed by the Dudley Boys, and then you're gonna look at this old lady, and they had a storyline where Mark Henry, big ass strongest man in the world, Mark Henry, got her pregnant, and they had a segment on Raw where she gave birth to a hand. And she was like well into her 80s, like maybe even 90 years old. Her name was Mae Young. She was an old timey
You might not be
wrestler.
able to show it. I'll play the video, but if you just watch this GIF over here, that's her
The
getting.
gift, that's what's happening. Powerbomb. And she was in a neck brace to begin with. And this guy, the Dudley Boys, powerbombed her through a table from off the speakers. You could not get away with this anymore. They would not allow this to happen. Because everybody calls it like the Disney era, I guess. You know what I mean?
So incredible.
Oh my god, dude, classic. Classic. You can never recreate. You can never recreate that moment in time with sports entertainment. You can never do that, and you can't like initiate a new one because there's too many. There was, oh my god, dude, WWE would be canceled right now with the shit that used to go on back in the late '90s. If you remember Jerry Springer was just an amateur version of what the WWE was trying to do. You know what I mean? They had DX. Dude, I was walking up and down the hallways of my high school, so were you, going, suck it, to teachers. To teachers.
Such, D Generation X was
I had a
so
gym.
fucking
Wild.
awesome.
Wild, dude. Wild. They were just telling people to suck it. Dude, they were getting whole arenas of people.
And you have to appreciate.
We had a gym teacher in my school that would fucking do suck it back to you.
You had to appreciate The Rock and his
Do it back.
transformation too. From
He comes from that. That whole
yes,
the reason
he was
why
in the whatchamacallit, the Nation, right? The Nation of Domination.
Yes, and the Nation of Domination was like a spin on the Nation of Islam and the Black Panthers. And they were a group of African American wrestlers who banded together because they felt like they had, and The Rock was one of them.
Wasn't Booker T?
No, Booker T at that time was WCW. He was in Harlem Heat.
Oh, that's right, the Harlem Heat.
Yeah, Booker T used to do that breakdance move before he would like fucking do his finisher on you or whatever. But that was the war too. WCW versus, that doesn't exist anymore because WWE pretty much took like a monopoly on it. They have AEW now, and they do talk shit about each other, but it's not the same as it used to be because it was a legit. There were television wars back in the day. If you guys remember, it was David Letterman versus Leno. You know what I mean? It was shows would battle each other on primetime. You know what I mean? You had like Saturday night was like Simpsons and Married with Children versus whatever the other stations had. Thursday night was NBC. That was like Seinfeld and Friends were battling fucking who the fuck else was on Fox or whoever. You know what I mean? And it got dirty. And
it was
the era of the wrestling then was very raunchy. So you can only imagine how nasty it would get on their broadcast. They would diss each other openly. In an epic event, speaking about Mankind won the championship belt, and he was the biggest underdog back then. On WCW, the announcers who had a live show said, "Oh, would you believe that in a pre-recorded episode of Raw, they just aired Mankind won the belt?" And they were like, "Could you believe that's stupid? That's stupid. How does Mankind win the belt? How could Vince McMahon let this happen?" They were all like dissing him on WCW while the WCW broadcast is going on. The ratings, everybody shut off WCW and turned on Monday Night Raw immediately once they heard that he was getting, or they tried to spoil it. So everybody was able to tune in to right just as he won it, and everybody stopped watching Monday Night Nitro. And that's when WCW went down because their shares,
wow.
their value went down, and WWE had the more compelling, if you will,
all right,
content.
There at that point though, it was WWF.
It was, yeah. They didn't have the Panda Bear guys suing them yet, or they were suing them. I believe like the World Wildlife Foundation had been suing Vince McMahon from the 80s, and the lawsuit didn't get squashed until like the year 2000.
I think what happened was they wanted, they had a deal that the World Wildlife Foundation had control over the internet presence.
Right.
So then actually we should look this up.
What? So when you say once like the web ramped up in like the late 90s, that's when it sort of they had to change their name because WWE couldn't have a website if they weren't allowed to be WWF, right? They would just lose that ability to use that massive, like utility, because that's what it is now. And plus, everybody was sort of making a push back then because I watched it knowing that it was fake, even though like fake is a loose term, really, because these motherfuckers are sacrificing their life and their limb for this because it's very dangerous. And they're athletes. You can't say they're not athletes. You can't do any of that shit and not be athletic. There's a level of athleticism. Some of them are fantastic fucking athletes, and they have to be at a certain level to fucking perform like that. So they say real or fake. But back then in the late 90s, there was a big push for the kayfabe to be out of the bag. You know what I mean? So calling it World Wrestling Entertainment was also a move.
Yes, I'm reading that too. So the lawsuit happened on May 6th, 2002. And it was because the company lost a lawsuit initiated by the World Wildlife Fund over the WWF trademark.
Because they had that name since the 60s or something like that, or they had it like way before. Because WWE, before it was called WWF, was called the WWCF or something like that, or they had like a 4 under Vince Senior. It had like a different name.
I don't know.
The promotion had a different name when they were doing just their
Vince
Madison Square.
Senior. I always forget that his daddy was also involved.
He was a very famous wrestling promoter. He pretty much had Madison Square Garden on lock, his promotion, when everything was territorial. And having the Garden was like...
having everything.
And it's still now, dude. There's such a big thing. Like, events happening at the Garden, concerts especially, right? But fights, boxing, MMA now, since UFC started going there, that event's been huge, for the Garden. And other things too, other events going to... Listen, if it wasn't for the Garden, you want to know what my opinion is, Mike?
What's your
opinion? Half the people who are Knicks fans are only still Knicks fans because the Knicks play in the Garden. Because otherwise, what other reason would you have? I mean, other than now, they got to the playoffs. I believe today they made it into the playoffs, which is the years that they make it to the playoffs are few and far between. So the Knicks could do something now. But I'm just saying, like, there were years of heartache with those Knicks fans. And I believe Madison Square Garden is what kept them there. Same thing goes for Ranger fans. You know what I mean? It's even in a bad season, going to a Ranger game at Madison Square Garden is epic. You know what I mean? It's exciting.
Yes.
The Garden has an energy all of its own.
Madison Square Garden. That's basically.
Yeah.
I think on that note, we're gonna end the show because I gotta get up at 5 a.m. No, I have to be at work by 5 a.m.
I have to rest my voice.
Yes. Thanks for watching the Dumbfounded Dipshits podcast. I am Mike. That's Ryan. Check us out Wednesday nights at 9:15 or 9:20, one or the other. That's when we
With that rain date is Sunday at the same time at 9:20.
Exactly.
So yeah, smash that like button.